What's going on, everybody? So today I was listening to a podcast, and one of my favorite podcasters is Jocko Willink. He's a former Navy SEAL commander who does a podcast on combat and war as it relates to life. And I just recently did a blog on a book review of his book with his fellow SEAL from SEAL Team 3. Leif Babin, and the book's name is Extreme Ownership. And Jocko said something significant. This interview was an interview with Sam Harris, who is a podcaster who talks about mindfulness and things like that. And he was talking about war, and they were talking about the reasons why the Iraqi army was not as successful as the United States Marine Corps and United States Army and United States Navy SEALs were in fighting militants. And Jocko had a really good answer. And he said, in war, you have to be willing to kill. That means you have to be willing to kill the enemy. And you also have to be willing to kill people who are going to be collateral damage. You have to be willing to accept the fact that you will kill innocents. And as we well know, ISIS has no problem killing innocents, and they have no problem killing the enemy. And neither do Iraqi soldiers for the most part. They will shoot, they will fire, probably not very well, but they will. But here's the other side of the coin. You have to be willing to die. You have to be willing to put your life on the line. Now, we know ISIS is very willing to put their lives on the line. We know that American service members are extremely willing to put their lives on the line. But for an Iraqi soldier, where they're not really sure what Iraq is, they don't know where their allegiance lies, they might have a tribal allegiance, they might have a religious sectarian allegiance. A lot of them, maybe they don't want to die right now. But the quote brought me back to an application of life. And today I don't just want to talk about combat. In fact, I don't want to talk about combat at all. I want to talk about how this statement relates to life. And I thought to a comment somebody made on one of my posts on my personal training account one time. And I had posted a picture of me with my girlfriend, and we were training. And I was pretty widely known as a personal trainer at the time. I've been a fitness coach for a long time. And the guy said, "Chris, you're so lucky. I wish I had your life." And I read the post, I read his comment, and I sat back and I laughed. I laughed so much. And it's not to degrade the person who made that comment, because he doesn't know. But I thought to myself, if this guy was only in my shoes, if he only knew my life, he probably wouldn't have made that comment. Now, that's not to say that I have had a bad life. I think I've had a very good life. But it is to say this. Over the years previous to that, I had a debilitating disease that forced me to run to the bathroom 30 to 40 times a day. That also caused me to lose a lot of blood from orifices. I had a failed business and failed relationship that left me homeless and living out of my car. I had been staying up and getting less than 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night for months. And I don't say that as somebody who was suffering. I say that as somebody who was working. But the reason why I laughed was because for most people who would say I was lucky, a lot of people would look at my life and they would say, "Oh my God, that is not a very good life. I don't know if I could do that." And I have to tell you that he is right. I do feel very lucky. I do love my life. But the thing for people to get around here is this. We equate luck with somebody who's lived a charmed life, somebody who hasn't had to work, for somebody who hasn't had to feel pain or suffer. Most people, and I'm not trying to put myself off as some sort of God, because I'm not. I'm a very imperfect person. I've fucked up more times than people can count. But most people could not fuck up as much as I did and still continue. Most people could not allow themselves to get homeless, and most people could not allow themselves to lose everything. Most people could not endure 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night. But my request from anybody, or for anybody who can't do that, and who may look at me or any other person, and I don't consider myself a successful person either, I'm still on that journey. But my request is, whenever you see somebody who has something that you want, whether that be something in life, and again, I don't have many material possessions. I don't have a Beamer or a Bentley hanging out in my garage. But whenever you see somebody who has something that you desire, and that includes a life that you desire, take luck out of that equation. Luck has nothing to do with it. What has to do with it is your ability to endure pain, your ability to endure rejection, your ability to endure self-doubt, and your willingness to put it all on the line, much like the willingness to die in war or in combat. And if I could tell you anything that has led to my success, I wasn't the best Marine in the world. I wasn't the person who was doing anything really high speed. But I have been to places where children play in sewers. I've been to places where people live in destitution and who live a much lower quality of life than we do here in the United States. That's to say that if you live in a trailer, if you live in a cardboard box, if you live out of your car in this country, you have a palace compared to much of the rest of the world. And not only that, you have a palace of opportunity. But the opportunity, the benefits of that opportunity go to the people who have the will to pursue it. So the biggest thing I can tell you is this: there is no magic that can come down and help you get out of a particular situation. It's going to be your willingness to get out of that situation. And any of you can do it. You don't have to be some Special Forces SEAL. You don't have to even be United States Marine. You don't have to be a soldier. You don't have to have had a military background, but most of you who are watching this do. And so you know. Grab hold of your will. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm going to change this. And then do it. As simple as that. And I'm not saying that it's easy when I say it's simple. It's going to be hard. There's going to be pain. There's going to be a hard road. But that's what it's about. It's about the journey. It's about changing something. And it's about putting everything on the line to live the life that you want. Why? Because this is the only life we get. Sure, your beliefs might have you believe in an afterlife, and yes, that's true. But while we're here, for the short time that we're here, if we're going to get everything we can out of this life, you have to have the will to do it. So that's that. I got nothing else. I love you all. Peace.